much for joining me. So we're exploring a paper by Gökçe Çiçek-Tuğ and Ahmet Tuğrul-Tuğ. Oh, and just to be super clear, right from the start, I'll be presenting the ideas of their research, but not endorsing them, just sharing what the authors found and leaving it to you, the listener, to take what's useful or relevant, yeah? So today's topic is one that kind of surprised me when I first saw it pop up in the literature review queue. It's called Quiet Luxury and Brand Building in Classical Music Institutions. That's a mouthful, but if you stick with me, I think you'll find it's actually super interesting, even beyond the world of music. If you've ever wondered how classical music institutions, like your city's symphony orchestra or those globally famous groups in Berlin or London, manage to feel, I don't know, exclusive and a little mysterious, but not flashy, that's what this paper gets at. So what's the core question the authors are tackling? They're looking at the marketing strategies of specifically classical music institutions, think orchestras, music festivals, and asking, how do these institutions build their brands around this idea of quiet luxury? What even is quiet luxury, right? Basically, instead of big ostentatious displays like flashy logos or super obvious wealth, it's a kind of subtle, almost silent signaling of status. It's about cultural capital, aesthetic taste, intellectual distinction, not just about, having the fanciest watch or car. This is especially significant as classical music fights to stay relevant in a world dominated by streaming and TikTok dances and, honestly, a million other digital distractions. To get at this, the authors picked a few big names: the Berlin Philharmonic, the Borussen Istanbul Philharmonic Orchestra, the Istanbul Foundation for Culture and Arts, and the London Symphony Orchestra. They analysed things like concert posters, membership programs, digital platforms and social media feeds over several years. Mostly they used qualitative content analysis, so they were looking for patterns in images, language, and marketing materials. No lab coats, no test tubes, just a lot of time spent scrolling and reflecting on the meaning behind colours, slogans, and design elements. I mean, imagine doing that for months, right? Talk about being committed. So what did they actually find? Here's where it gets cool for you, the listener, even if you're not a classical music buff. Basically, each institution crafts its brand, not with bling, not with, gold-plated violins or something, but with a kind of restrained elegance. Think minimalist posters, inside jokes only true fans get, and a ton of behind-the-scenes content that feels exclusive. For example, the Berlin Philharmonic uses digital tools like their digital concert hall to make high-level classical music accessible globally, but with a vibe of this is for those in the know. The London Symphony Orchestra rolls out a student app with discounted tickets and subtle brand cues that sort of whisper, hey, you're part of the future cultural elite. Borussen in Istanbul, they channel this modern dynamic prestige, lots more playful social media, even TikToks with rehearsal cats apparently, yet still keep it all curated with soft pastel colours and elegant layouts. And the Istanbul Foundation for Culture and Arts leverages the whole festival atmosphere, creating this spatial sense of belonging that's less about price and more about being in that special club, that urban inn, crowd. It's not about who can spend the most. It's about who gets the code, who can appreciate the nuances, which is both kind of empowering and, well, maybe a bit exclusionary. The authors don't, again, not me, just citing their findings. They don't say this is inherently good or bad, just that it's happening. All these institutions walk this line where, on the outside, it's for everyone, but in practice, real fans, or those with specific cultural knowledge, get the deepest experience. You might be thinking, cool, but so what? Well, how institutions frame quiet luxury can tell us a lot about how culture, identity, and even social hierarchy are constructed in 2025. If you ever felt like you were on the outside of something, maybe it wasn't about money so much as not speaking the aesthetic language being used. And that's worth reflecting on, right? I want to pause here. Do you ever notice how, certain coffee shops seem just a little bit intimidating? There's this unspoken code in how things are presented, the music they play, even the cup sizes. Maybe that's quiet luxury creeping into other parts of life. Or Or maybe I'm just reading too much into that one time my flat white order got side-eyed. Anyway, so to wrap up, remember this is just research, not the final word. The authors are offering insights you can use to look with fresh eyes at how brands, even outside the arts, signal value and invite, or maybe quietly exclude certain audiences. It's a reminder that research sparks conversation, not absolute answers. A big thanks to Gökçe Çiçektuğer and Ahmet Tuğrul Tuğer for tackling this kind